When blessings come, even heaven aligns. When the heart is clear, fate too can change. Long ago, in a poor village nestled beneath Mount Dai Luang, lived a man named Hao Khiem. Villagers fondly called him Little Cat. Since childhood, he had been clever like a cat, resilient like a cat, but also poor like a starving one. His family was far from well off. His parents passed away early. He toiled year-round in the fields, yet still barely had enough to eat. As time passed, he married a gentle, honest woman named Anguiette. They started with nothing, only each other to hold on to. They lived in a rickety thatched cottage, winter cut through the skin, rain seeped through the roof, but laughter was never missing. That New Year, the cold was biting. Everywhere, homes were bright with red couplets, kitchens steamed with the scent of square rice cakes. Only the La family's home remained dark, silent, not a scrap of meat, not a single coin. He looked at his wife and saw her eyes rimmed red, but still she smiled gently. On the eve of Lunar New Year, Anguiette quietly stepped inside, rummaged through an old wooden chest, and took out a silver hairpin, tarnished with time. Then, placed it in his hand. This hairpin was from my mother. I've never dared to pawn it. But this year, go ahead and trade it. Buy us a few things to welcome the new year. After all, tomorrow should be a day of reunion. Hao Khiem held the pin. His heart was tangled in 100 threads. Love for his wife, sorrow for their lot. He stepped out toward the market, intending to exchange it for some rice, a bit of pork, and a few packets of sticky rice cakes. But the sky hadn't brightened, and human hearts had yet to thaw. At the corner of the market, a scene pierced his heart. A young girl, maybe 13 or 14, knelt in the street. In front of her, a charcoal-scrawled sign read, "Sell myself to bury father. Please, kind soul, help us." Her eyes were red, her hands frozen stiff. Beside her, a ragged mat covered the body of her lifeless father. People passed, glancing with pity, but no one stopped. The world rarely has space for the poor, and even less mercy for the desperate. Hao Khiem stood frozen. He thought of his own parents, who had died poor and alone. He thought of his wife, of the silver hairpin. And then, he stopped thinking. He pulled out all the money he had just received. Hands trembling, he placed it into the girl's palm. "Go bury your father. This new year, you won't be alone." The girl burst into tears. Those passing by fell silent. But Hao Khiem didn't look back. He turned quietly and walked away. The wind howled, carrying with it the emptiness in his pockets and the hunger in his belly. He couldn't return home empty-handed, so he turned toward his father-in-law's house, hoping to borrow a little money. But before he could knock, his mother-in-law's voice echoed from within. "That Nguyet girl of ours must be suffering this year. My heart aches, dear. Let's bring them 50 kilograms of rice and 10 kilograms of pork. They can get through this new year, and we'll figure things out later." Hearing that, Hao Khiem's eyes welled with tears. He turned and ran home. As soon as he reached the yard, Nguyet called out, "Where have you been? Where's the food for Tet? Where's the money? What did you buy?" He didn't answer directly, just smiled and said, "Today I learned a strange new skill. I can see the future." Nguyet frowned, just about to scold him, when he continued, "Very soon, someone will bring 50 kilograms of rice and 10 kilograms of pork to our home. Just wait." Before he could finish, his father-in-law arrived, pushing a three-wheeled cart carrying exactly 50 kilograms of rice and 10 kilograms of pork. Nguyet gaped in shock, ran out to ask, "Did you see my husband, father?" He shook his head. And so she believed. Her husband truly could foresee the future. From that day on, the story spread far and wide. Half a year later, the sky dried up, trees withered, fields cracked open, people, thirsty and hungry, praying to heaven, beseeching the Buddha. Not a single drop of rain. The provincial governor, heart aching for the people, hung a golden notice in the marketplace. "Whoever can summon a great rain shall be rewarded 300 silver taels." Nguyet saw this. Her eyes lit up. She rushed home, urged her husband to claim the reward. Hao Khiem, his face turned pale. He had no powers. It was all a fluke, so he went to his mother to say goodbye and flee. Upon hearing her son's words, the old mother didn't scold, didn't blame, didn't even question much. She simply smiled gently, eyes filled with calmness, as if she had long known this day would come. Softly she spoke, her voice like a breeze. "Don't worry too much, my son. I have a treasure that has stayed with me for decades." Then slowly, She opened an old wooden chest and took out an old, tattered apron, faded yellow-brown, glossy from thick layers of grease. An item, to others, it seemed worthless, but to her, it was a family heirloom. For 30 years, never washed, never discarded, she held it as though it were a sacred relic, and calmly said, "Whenever rain is coming, this apron moistens on its own, 3 days in advance. But if it stays dry, no matter how much you pray, not a single drop shall fall." She stared intently at every crease of the apron. After a moment, she nodded solemnly, as if grasping the will of heaven. 3 days from now, there will be heavy rain. The mother's words lit a flame in Hao Khiem's heart. He stood up at once, wasted not a moment more, marched straight to the provincial office. Before the governor, he declared boldly, "Rain can come, but on one condition. The entire province must keep a vegetarian fast for 3 days. No killing, no false speech, no indulgence in lust. If purity is kept for 3 full days, rain will surely fall." The governor, a man who understood karma, nodded without hesitation. He ordered the decree across the city. All citizens must eat vegetarian for 3 days, absolutely no breaking precepts. And so, for 3 days, the city cast away meat and fish. Fragrance of incense filled every alley, chanting echoed from temples to street corners. The poor endured with greens. The rich willingly let go of delicacies. Everyone held back their desires, kept a clean heart, looked to the heavens, and prayed. Then, on the 3rd day, the sky darkened. Thunder cracked like battle drums. Lightning flashed, blindingly bright. And then rain poured like a waterfall. The cracked earth drank deeply. Fields brimmed with cool water. Rivers swelled. Fish danced and swam again. The people, from shock to sheer joy, cheers filled the air, gratitude in every home. The name Hao Khiem echoed throughout the province. He became a symbol of compassion and divine blessing. His fame spread far and wide, over rivers, across mountains, until finally it reached the emperor's ears. The king listened, half believing, half doubting. How could it be that a man could know the rain and read the will of heaven? Without delay, the emperor issued a decree summoning Hao Khiem to the capital. The day he received the imperial summons, Hao Khiem did not rejoice. He only felt as if a heavy stone had pressed upon his heart. Years of muddy feet in the fields, and now, suddenly, he was brought into the splendid, resplendent royal palace. His heart, like a fish pulled from water, stifled, unsteady, unable to discern what was real. That day, at the break of dawn, the palace drums echoed, beat after beat. Hao Khiem stood at the gate of the Kimlone Hall. His hands were ice cold, his legs trembling. He was no Taoist, no fortune teller, certainly no hidden sage, just a humble farmer, one who helped others, one who believed in a kind heart. And now, he stood face to face with the Son of Heaven. Tell me, who would not tremble? The palace doors opened. He was led into the solemn court. 100 officials stood in reverence. The emperor sat high upon the golden throne. His voice rang out, majestic and slow. "We have a box, woven with royal brocade and adorned with dragons and phoenixes, tightly sealed, no gaps. Tell us what lies within." The hall fell into utter silence. Hao Khiem turned pale. Cold sweat covered his brow. He had no way of knowing. He bowed his head. His mind was tangled like a knotted thread. And then, without knowing why, his lips suddenly spoke as if no longer his own. "Tiao Miao, you've died, inside this box." The entire court stirred. The emperor's eyes widened. Whispers echoed among the ministers. A palace attendant quickly opened the box. In that moment, the lid sprang open. The air grew thick. Inside lay a cat, golden fur gleaming, a rare breed from foreign lands, but already lifeless, suffocated. No one could speak. The emperor paused, then burst into hearty laughter, his eyes lit with astonishment. Not only did he guess the object within, he knew it had died. This man is no ordinary soul. Right there in the Kimlone Hall, the emperor issued a decree. Hao Khiem was to be granted high office, with boundless honor and riches. But amidst the cheers and the admiring eyes all around, Hao Khiem simply bowed and calmly replied, "I was born in the fields, used to meals of rice and pickles. All I wish is to wander the 4 corners of the land with my wife and children, living a life of freedom. Riches and glory I dare not accept." The emperor was not angered. Instead, he respected him all the more. He laughed heartily, then declared, "Very well. If you will not serve as an official, then we bestow upon you 1,000 acres of fertile land and 100 taels of gold as a parting gift." When he returned home, Hao Khiem kept not the land for himself. He divided it among the poor. Those without land were given fields to till. Those in hardship received help. His house stood at the end of the village, thatched and humble, no more splendid than anyone else's. But each night, laughter of children echoed from within. The lamp always burned late, and perhaps it was the warmest place in the land. He sought neither fame nor wealth, only lived with a kind heart. Heaven and earth will always respond. Good brings good. A pure heart brings blessings. It is no coincidence that people often say to do good is to sow seeds in the earth. Today, one may see nothing, but tomorrow, or the next day, or the next month, a garden shall bloom and bear fruit. To give at the right time, to help in the right place, that is not only a noble act, but also a quiet way to cultivate blessings. Even if poor in wealth, if one is rich in compassion, one can still leave behind footprints of goodness in this world. As the Dhammapada teaches, mind precedes all things. Mind is chief. Mind creates. When the mind is kind, inclined toward goodness, then speech and actions will also become pure, and life will begin to turn toward light. The story of Hao Khiem is a living testament to that truth.